Hi, my name is Marta and I'm a member of the Technical Services team at Oxford Nanopore Technologies. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the concept of pore occupancy, how to monitor this during your run, and how to troubleshoot for different scenarios. The channels panel is a spatial representation of the chip and describes the channel states in real time. The channels panel shows different colors pertaining to channel states in real time. Sequencing, in light green, indicates that DNA or RNA is currently passing through a single pore. Pore, in dark green, means a single pore is present, but no DNA or RNA is currently passing through the pore. In dark blue, the recovering state means that there is very little current passing through that sensor. And in light blue, the inactive state indicates a channel that cannot be rescued and will no longer be able to sequence. In addition, we define pore occupancy as the ratio of sequencing to single pore. More channel states can be viewed by clicking on the More button under the Channels panel, and details on these can be found in the Minnow protocol. I will now go through a few key examples on monitoring your library's performance using Minnow. In this first example, the channels panel show a high ratio of sequencing to pore, indicating that the majority of pores are capturing and sequencing. There is a very small amount of recovering and inactive channels, indicating a successful library preparation. In this example, the majority of channels are in the pore state, in dark green, meaning that they are active pores which are not currently sequencing. This suggests that there is not enough DNA with adapters in the system, which can be caused by a low input amount of sample or by inefficient attachment of sequencing adapters. To ensure you are getting the maximum throughput, we recommend stopping the run, washing the flow cell, and loading a new library. In this last example, we see a spatial patterning. Although half the channels are in light green and sequencing, there is an obvious large area of inactive channels close to the inlet. This indicates that an air bubble has been introduced onto the array during either flushing or loading the flow cell. In this specific example, we observe a high ratio of sequencing to pore in the area that does not contain the air bubble. This indicates a successful library preparation, although the overall sequencing throughput will be impacted by the presence of the bubble and the number of inactive channels. In this case, washing the flow cell will not recover these pores, as air causes irreversible damage. Now let's look at the duty time plots, which show a summary of all 512 channels over time, allowing you to see any trends which are happening as your run progresses. Let's look at some examples. In this example, we observe a duty time plot where the amount of time spent sequencing remains consistent over time. This indicates a successful run, showing most channels or pores sequencing over the course of the run, with a pore occupancy of about 80% for most of the run. Please note that the dip in pore occupancy every hour and a half corresponds to a muck scan and is completely normal. For more on muck scan, please refer to the relevant video. In this example, we have a higher number of pores in open state in dark green, and very little percentage of pores that are sequencing in light green. This means that we have good pores for sequencing, but no molecules are passing through them. This typically indicates an underloading of the flow cell. So make sure you check the amount of DNA or RNA in your prepared library, then add another 200 to 300 nanograms to the existing run if your library is at a high concentration. If not, then please stop the run and prepare the library again, as very little sequencing data will be produced from a run like this. When troubleshooting pore occupancy and library performance, if you see pore occupancy below 40%, then usually that means that not enough library was prepared or loaded onto the flow cell. Therefore, quantification is key for success. If pore occupancy is close to 0%, then it is possible that the sequencing adapter has not ligated onto the DNA. Check that all reagents are within expiry date, including third-party ligases, for example. It can also be the result of using ethanol instead of LFB or SFB for the wash step after adapter ligation, as this will cause the motor protein to fall off. It can also be that the result of no tether added to the flow cell during the priming step. Ensure you have mixed the flush tether with the flush buffer before priming your flow cell. If you found this video useful, you can browse through more content on the Nanopore Learning Lesson Library, and you can also check our support page to find frequently asked questions on library prep, devices, software, and more. Thanks for watching this video. This video may refer to different aspects and specific versions of the technology. Remember to check the Nanopore community website for updates on the latest features and to ensure you are using the latest versions of software, devices, kits, and protocols.